yeah. So for example, in the strategy that I've been teaching, uh, if you get two candles, if you're in an uptrend, and you get two red candles in a row, and they each put in lower lows, then any lower than that candle, you should get out. And then here's another, like you should write that down. And then here's another rule, like that can be an exit rule. If you have
Okay.
if you have two red candles in a row that put in lower lows, each of them, like the second candle was lower than the first one, and like not the second one is just like a little blip lower. Like they both have to go like down, down. You know what I mean? You have to judge these things with your mind, beyond the computer, and go, okay, no, this is not good. Uh, in any event, if you have two red candles like that in a row, like if it goes any lower than where that second candle's low ended, yeah, just completely get out. And that might suck because you might have only been able to get a little bit of gain, but it just happens that way sometimes. It happens often. What happens often in day trading is you're constantly racking up tiny gains and tiny losses. Tiny, and then sometimes, like 1 out of 7, 1 out of 10, you get this just wonderful thing happen. Or today, like I was trading, oh, what was that? So many stocks. Oh, WWR. I was trading AMD, and I was trading um, Apple at one point, but I'm trying to think there might have been another stock. But I was also trading WWR, and WWR was like a kind of like a typical penny stock supernova type of one. I'll pull it up. While I was day trading that on the normal strategy that we talk about, and my idea was, if you're day trading any of those supernova type stocks, who knows? Maybe you'll catch a move. So I was just doing these moves here, and I was taking like profit there. So I get in, this break that high right there, and I was getting there. So right around here, though, I started to notice that all the moving averages and VWAP, which is that dotted line, were all converging. And when that happens, that usually precedes a powerful move, whether it be to the upside or the downside. And when the 200 moving average hit the VWAP here, I mean, it could have been anything. I'm just almost like being a sports commentator, just saying like, okay, when the 200 average hit the VWAP here, and all these started to come together, that's moments later when this stock exploded. And I happen to have thousands of shares in that at that point specifically because all of these moving averages were starting to converge together. And when that happens, I want to increase my position. I want to get a lot into something. And sure enough, boom, this thing went from 7 to 2. I thought it halted. It didn't even halt. I don't know how that didn't halt. It was insane. Went from 7 to like 8.5 in 3 minutes, and I made thousands on that. So that can be what happens. You're playing things and you're just chipping away. It's just like you're just playing the day trading game, and you cannot get screwed and not sell when something goes down on you when you should have sold. You have to adhere to your selling rules so you can get out at that small loss so it doesn't matter to you. You just are waiting really to be in when the thing works out. And in the meantime, you're getting in and getting out and getting in and getting out. And I'm losing $7 and I'm losing $12 and I'm losing $25 and $60 or $45, and then one time I'm making thousands of dollars. And I just, once it got near the top here, I sold here and I sold a little bit here, and that was it. I was out. I didn't even capture the whole move, but I captured a lot of it because it happened fast. So that was awesome. But that'll happen to you in the right situations. And if you're day trading and you're using like my strategy, uh, you get into 7, 10, 15 trades per day. And so one of those, maybe even two of those, will just be perfect, like textbook. And really, AMD was just about darn near textbook at the beginning of the day today. It was real easy to have made money on that. And that's not always the case with every stock you trade. And that's not always going to be the case with AMD. And it might not be the case with AMD tomorrow. It's just that's the way some trades go. And you got to be watching these things for when they start to deteriorate on you. and then start to just stay away from when it just doesn't look like it's going to have that good opportunity anymore. I know on AMD when the next opportunity was going to be looking good, and that's when all these moving averages are starting to come together. So for me, starting from right around here, that's why I even drew those lines there, because I was looking for when there was going to be a good opportunity, but not in a chop zone, when all of these moving averages are starting to come together. And I think I got in right here. I mean, that's just gorgeous. Like, you just got to know that and trust that. You need to practice, day trading with these moving averages systems, because you can know that when all these moving averages start to converge together, that's the moment. And I knew to put a whole bunch on that. Over here in the chop zone, I was putting like 50 shares, 30 shares, instead of like hundreds of shares. Down here, I got hundreds and hundreds of shares. And I knew that because they were converging. So I knew there was more potential. And that's because that's the way these moving averages are. They're like pressure, like elastic pressure, and they get compact and then they spread out and then they come back. And they do that all day, on every chart. They don't ever go to infinity. Never can happen. They always come back. It's just the way it is, the moving averages, because of the way the price creates the average and then eventually slows down and they come together. And it's just, so they're always doing this, like, accordioning, and you can even see that here. You can see how they spread apart at the beginning of the day. That's where you make all your money. And when they're apart, you don't want to be in that trade anymore. When they're apart, where are they going to go? They're going to come back together. You don't want to be in the coming back together phase. That opening of the different moving averages, if you've listened to some of my classes, is called, it's a funny name, it's called alligator indicator. Is when the moving averages open up like the mouth of an alligator, right? And then they close on you, and then you have no more opportunity anymore. So when the moving averages are fully open, if they're railroading and they're not continuing to start to close down or start to get tighter, then you're good. You're going to keep trending. Things are going to keep going. You can stay in. But if they start to close down and stuff, then and it's already far apart, there's no opportunity there. The opportunity starts when things are at their average, the mean reversion. That's what's going on right there. All right. So that was an interesting explanation of all that, and we can go over that again sometime for sure, because I find it super fascinating, and I literally like a scientist when I'm trading during the day. I'm like, oh man, that's coming together here, and I'm watching the price action, and you might not get a lot of necessarily yet. You might not yet get a lot of meaning out of all those lines and the price action, but what you'll see is that there's certain moments where a lot of things align. And like you could go to, like AMD did well today, right? You could maybe go to some of the other stocks in the same sector, Nvidia or whatever. You could look at all of their daily charts and you could see that maybe AMD is coming into an alligator opening. Maybe AMD is opening and maybe Nvidia is closing. And that would represent that, like, there's a money flow movement going from Nvidia to AMD, and that semiconductor is going to like do better over the next 3 months. So there's so many things you can do with these moving averages,